February 4, 2026, Gabryel Ayres was sitting in a car with her child's father on South May Street in Chicago. Around 1:25 in the afternoon, 3 men approached the vehicle and fired over 50 rounds in broad daylight. When the gunfire stopped, Gabrielle was fighting for her life. And the question everyone is asking is, why were they targeted? Because the number of rounds suggests that it was no random attack. Before we get into it, leave a like, drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Crime on Pulse so you won't miss the next case. Gabryel Ayres, who went by the nickname Gi-Na or Gabby, was a 26-year-old hairstylist who owned and operated her own salon in Chicago. She was known as hardworking, dedicated, and passionate about her craft, spending her days making her clients feel confident and beautiful. People who knew her described her as kind and focused on building something stable for herself. Back in August 2024, Gabrielle shared a post that gave a glimpse into her mindset when it came to protection and loyalty. Someone had posted a question asking what someone would do if their baby's father was getting jumped by 6 people. Gabrielle responded, saying, "I ain't one to hurt people, but don't push me." It was the kind of post that showed she wasn't someone who backed down, that she had a protective side when it came to the people she cared about. In December 2024, Gabrielle gave birth to a baby girl, and from that moment on, being a mother became the center of her world. She wasn't just living for herself anymore. She was building a future rooted in stability and love for her child. On December 20, 2025, Gabrielle celebrated her daughter's first birthday and went all out for the occasion. She posted about it, calling her daughter the prettiest girl in the world and expressing how much she loved her. Now, months before that joyful celebration, Gabrielle had faced some legal trouble. In September 2025, she was arrested and charged with retail theft under $300 and theft of lost or mislaid property under $500. On September 23, 2025, Gabrielle posted on social media that her case was dismissed. She celebrated being found not guilty, mocking anyone who had been following her legal troubles. Life seemed to be moving forward for Gabrielle. She had her salon, her daughter, and she was working toward building the kind of future she wanted. It was a regular Tuesday afternoon in Chicago's Auburn Gresham neighborhood on February 4, 2026. Gabrielle was sitting in a white car in the 7900 block of South May Street with her child's father, 27-year-old Rico Suave, who was behind the wheel. In the back seat, strapped into her car seat, was their 13-month-old daughter. The location was significant because they were just steps away from St. Sabina Parish, a church that had long been a fixture in the community. This was a busy street in the middle of the day, the kind of place where people would be walking by, driving past, going in and out of nearby businesses. It was the last place anyone would expect any form of violence to happen. Around 1:25 in the afternoon, at least 3 men approached the vehicle. They were armed and they didn't hesitate. What happened next was captured on camera by a witness who was on their way home from work. That witness started recording as they saw what was unfolding. The men opened fire on the white car multiple times. Reportedly, over 50 rounds were fired into the vehicle in a relentless barrage. After emptying their weapons, they ran to a red Alfa Romeo that was waiting nearby. But instead of fleeing immediately, they made it clear this wasn't just about sending a message. The red Alfa Romeo pulled up in front of the white car, and the men fired several more rounds into the already destroyed vehicle before finally speeding away from the scene.
Breaking right now at 4:30, a brazen shooting a block from St. Sabina in the middle of 79th Street, leaving one person dead and a second in the hospital. Our Sabrina Franza is there for us. And Sabrina, there was a child in the car that was shot into, correct?
Marie, the baby was in the back seat of this white car that you can see just here on 79th Street. It is right behind this larger vehicle that it later crashed into. After the shooting, two adults were in the car with that child when at least three people walked up and started firing. Incredibly, the baby was not physically hurt, but the entire incident was caught on video, and a CBS viewer sent that video to us. Here you can see at least three people run up to the white car with guns in hand. Now, we are not airing the audio in this video, though in it you could hear at least 24 shots fired directly at that white car. After running away, the gunman got into a red Alfa Romeo and fired even more shots into this white car. The viewer who took this video, or sent us the video rather, told us that they are heartbroken and distraught tonight, saying that they were on their way from work when they saw the shooting. A man and a woman, both injured, with a baby they say was holding a lollipop in the back seat, crying. That viewer told us that the child was not injured, thankfully. Both adults taken to the hospital, and the male is expected to be okay.
The white car crashed into a GMC van that was nearby. The driver of the van wasn't involved in the incident and wasn't injured, just an innocent person caught in the chaos of what had just happened. After it was over, the scene on South May Street was covered in shell casings, evidence of just how many rounds had been fired in those few minutes. Gabrielle had been struck multiple times throughout her body. The injuries were severe and she was critically wounded. Rico had also been hit, and while serious, his injuries weren't life-threatening. He was conscious and reportedly able to communicate with first responders when they arrived. Now, the most shocking part of all of this was that the 13-month-old baby girl in the back seat, sitting in her car seat, didn't have a single injury. A witness who arrived at the scene shortly after said they saw the baby in the back seat, holding a lollipop.
More video from the scene also shows the immediate police response. Officers have marked the many bullet casings on the ground as they try to find the person responsible, people responsible. Now, the other car that you can see here, as we mentioned, the driver of this car was not involved in the shooting, we're told, but also got out of the car and refused medical attention. Just an innocent person, it seems, caught in the middle of all of this. At last check, police have said that the female victim in this case is 26 years old, the male victim 27, and as we mentioned, the male victim is expected to be okay, and the child in this case was also, we're told, not injured. We're live in Auburn, Gresham. Sabrina Franza, CBS News, Chicago. Marie?
Thanks for the update on that wild scene, Sabrina.
Emergency services arrived and Gabrielle was rushed to OSF Little Company of Mary Hospital in critical condition. Rico was taken to Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, where he was listed in good condition. The baby was safely removed from the scene by a Chicago police officer and taken to be checked out at the hospital as a precaution, but she had no physical injuries.
From all indications, there were multiple shooters who fired dozens of shots, perhaps more than 50. Remarkably, all of those bullets missed a baby who was sitting in the car that was targeted.
Investigators remained at the scene well after nightfall at this corner littered with shell casings, where somehow a baby in this bullet-riddled car emerged unscathed.
Father Michael Flegger from St. Sabina Parish, which was just steps away from where the incident happened, arrived at the scene.
A miracle with all the gunshot wounds on that car on both sides, and all the shooting that took place, that baby was spared and nothing. God must have a plan for that baby.
The shooting unfolded not far from St. Sabina Church and their nearby food pantry. Leo High School is also in close proximity. Father Michael Flegger says he was there too and has also seen videos circulating on social media showing more than one shooter targeting the car. He says the shooters have no soul.
These guys just coming out with long guns, just shooting. I mean, there were bullets, casings all over the street. It was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was obviously, I don't know what the origin of this was, but they were obviously after this car and the people in it. But, you know, whether they knew or not knew a baby was in the back seat, they didn't care. They were just going to shoot wildly at this car and end up killing a young mother. It's a miracle that baby was not shot. It's a miracle.
Church workers from the parish's food pantry, which was located on that corner, had been inside during the attack and hid in a back room when they heard the shots. After the incident, they came out to try to help the victims and were part of the effort to get the baby out of the car safely.
What's the purpose of shooting at a car when you know there's a child in the car? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it could be a lot of other people who's lost their life here today.
Kirk Bell is the godfather of 26-year-old Gabryel Ayres, who relatives identify as the woman who was shot and killed in her white Chevy sedan around 1:30 p.m. at 79th and May Street, her car then crashing into a van.
This here is unbelievable. This young lady was a beautiful young lady with a beautiful child, and life just cut short. For what? They need to clean this city up. They need to. This gangs and the shooting and the killing is just unbelievable.
The brazen nature of it left the community shaken and asking the same question over and over. Like, what could have possibly led to this level of violence? Investigators began working the scene immediately, collecting the numerous shell casings, reviewing surveillance footage from nearby buildings and interviewing witnesses. The cell phone video that had been recorded by the witness was turned over to authorities and provided crucial evidence of what had happened. The question of motive became central to the investigation. Investigators believed that the intended target of the attack was Rico, the 27-year-old man who had been driving the car. But the thing is, for the nature of this incident, there was no way to control where those bullets went. Gabrielle, who may not have been the intended target, ended up taking the worst hit. Despite the efforts of medical staff at OSF Little Company of Mary Hospital, Gabrielle succumbed to her injuries. She was pronounced gone at the hospital. Rico survived his injuries and is expected to recover physically. Shortly after, someone made a post writing, "They just tried to end my cousin. God got him though. Rico Suave, love you, still here." The post confirmed what investigators already knew, that Rico had survived a targeted attack. People who lived in the area who knew Gabrielle, or who were just tired of the violence that had been plaguing Chicago for years, spoke out. After Gabrielle's passing, her old social media post from November 21, 2025 resurfaced. Gabrielle had made a post saying she was going to post someone's deceased brother in a casket on her page. The post sparked heated exchanges in the comments. A woman questioned whether Gabrielle would actually post it, warning that Rico and someone else were going to handle it. She also asked if Gabrielle's people were getting dragged out of a car going on a mission. Gabrielle replied, saying that her brother got left on a hit. That same day, Gabrielle had also posted saying she didn't care about anyone posting her address because she was moving. Now, looking back at these posts after what happened to Gabrielle, people started connecting dots. The exchanges weren't just casual online arguments. They involved references to violence, retaliation, and threats. But here's the thing. While people were looking at Gabrielle's social media history, they were also looking at Rico's timeline, and what was found raised even more questions. On February 14, 2025, almost a full year before the incident, Rico had made a post that painted a concerning picture of his relationship with Gabrielle. He posted about texting Gabrielle to FaceTime him with their daughter, and when she finally called after 3 hours, he said she was getting messed up. He wrote that if anyone even played like that, he was going to put 300 rounds all across them and her. The post drew responses from people in the comments. Gabrielle herself had responded, posting, "You take me down, you know I'm coming back." Someone commented, telling Gabrielle to come get the weapon. Then there were other comments that were even more direct. Someone tagged Rico and wrote, "We finna end her," and Rico replied, "She thinks it's a game." In other responses, he wrote, "She's counting her days. She will not get a second chance to do this." Now, the disturbing part is what these posts suggest when you look at them in the context of what happened a year later. It raises some unsettling questions. Him stating that she wouldn't get a second chance to do this, and the incident occurring just days before Valentine's. How did Rico survive those number of shots if he was actually the target? So was he really involved in planning something against her, or was he caught up in something else entirely, something that had nothing to do with their relationship and everything to do with street conflicts? On December 27, 2025, Rico had posted, "Long live 3 Ski. Consequences happen every time your name is mentioned." The timeline gets even more concerning when you look at what happened in the days leading up to the incident. On February 3, 2026, Rico posted, "You cowards, free Marley, free Demon." That post seemed confrontational. Gabrielle's final post was on February 3, 2026. She reposted something that read, "I stay humble cause I've seen people laugh at somebody, then turn around and become the same thing they joked about." At 5:58 p.m. on February 4, 2026, just hours after the incident that took Gabrielle's life, Rico posted, "Don't put me last knowing I'd be the first one to risk it all for you." The post came approximately 4.5 hours after the incident. Was it a message? Was it directed at the people responsible? A message that he was still standing and still ready to risk it all? The investigation into Gabrielle's passing is still ongoing. No arrests have been made, and investigators are still working to identify the perpetrators and determine the motive behind the attack. The video evidence, the surveillance footage from nearby buildings, and the witness statements provide a clear picture of what happened, but the reason why is still unclear. The world keeps spinning and so does crime. Stay observant, listen to your instincts, and don't ignore the warning signs. I'll see you in the next case on Crime on Pulse. Thanks for watching.
Y'all, prayers out to this young woman family in Chicago. I'm gonna need all y'all to share this video right now for me. So you have this 26-year-old mother named Gabryel Ayres was unalive in a passenger seat with her boyfriend and her baby that was in the back seat. She was the only one that didn't make it. And I mean, y'all, it's a miracle though. They shot over the car 50 times, y'all. The boyfriend, he survived, and then the baby didn't have no injuries. And when they was, the video that went viral, going around right now, I want to show it, but this the video right here. I just got a picture. I ain't want them to take the video down, and I ain't want to show it because, you know, for her family. But y'all, how they was shooting, like, I'm so surprised how the baby didn't get hit. You know something was watching and guarding that baby. Cause they was shooting behind, they was shooting wild, y'all. Now the boyfriend said they was at a stop sign, and they seen the red SUV pull up behind them. 4 armed men had jumped out and popped out on them. They got to hitting them, right? Then they crashed right here, y'all. Now you would think that was over. No, comes up on feet, y'all. Runs up to the car. Just get the, you hear me? Like in the drive, I'm surprised how he ain't gone. And she the one who got to deal with this. And luckily the baby didn't get hit. Now they said that she was rushed to the hospital where she had multiple gunshots to her body, y'all. Fortunately, later on that day, that's when they announced that she was deceased. Now the boyfriend, he got shot in the butt and in his arm. It's sad because it's another little baby that got to go through this. And then when she get older, people got to tell her these stories. And then it's a viral video going around about it. And you got some people saying they was in the field. You got some people talking about it was the boyfriend fault. I'm like, if you know your mans is in a funk like that, you shouldn't be jumping in no cars with him, especially with your baby. And the niggas that got beef with other men around there, man, like, why you allowing your girl or her baby to get in your car when you know niggas is looking for you? I'm just saying, that's just so selfish to me. I mean, shit, now boyfriend, you better link up with the baby daddy. Spin and spin, because it's like, nigga, you owe him that. You owe that baby that, because you know that you a hot boy right now, and you want to ride around with your girl and her baby. I don't know, y'all. But I don't know the story. But it's allegedly that's what the story is, that the boyfriend has some little things going on. So, RP to that woman and her family, and it's sad because now this baby about to grow up with no mother. Another woman to some street violence, to some nonsense, some shit that probably ain't even had nothing to do with her. Just there at the wrong time. I hope y'all catch them and lock them all